We weren't drilling for oil. That was the cover story. You don't build a $1 trillion rig over the Mariana Trench just to find petroleum. We were looking for rare earth minerals. Or maybe something worse. I'm Jackson, Chief Safety Officer on Poseidon 4. We're stationed 300 miles from civilization, floating above the deepest scar on the planet's crust. Yesterday, the drill hit 30,000 feet. We expected bedrock. Instead, the drill bit punched through into empty space, a hollow chamber deep inside the earth. And then, something screamed back at us through the pipes. Now the storm is here. The radio is dead. And the ocean water is turning black. It happened at 02,000 hours. The rig vibrated with the usual grinding sound, diamond-tipped steel chewing through rock. Suddenly, the floor jumped. Crack. The resistance on the drill dropped to 0. RPM spiked off the chart. "We punched through!" the operator yelled. "We hit a pocket!" I checked the seismic monitor. It didn't make sense. Oil pockets are small. This was massive. Sonar showed a cavern the size of a city, buried under the seabed. "Shut it down!" I ordered. "Stabilize pressure!" But before we could stop the pumps, the pressure gauge swung backward. We weren't pumping mud down. Something was sucking it in. 20 minutes later, the back pressure hit. A valve blew on the main deck. Hiss. S-plat. Thick black fluid sprayed over the containment wall. "We struck oil!" a rookie shouted, cheering. I walked over to inspect it. It looked like oil. Black, viscous, but it didn't smell like hydrocarbons. It smelled like copper, like old blood. I took a sample in a glass vial, held it up to the light. The liquid didn't settle. It swirled. It climbed the sides of the glass, reaching for the cork. "Don't touch it," I warned. "That's not oil." I was in the lab analyzing the sample when the rig shook. Not a wave. From below, a shockwave hit the pylons, rattled our teeth. "Sonar contact!" the operator screamed. I ran to the bridge. "What was that? An earthquake?" "No, sir," he whispered, pale. It was a heartbeat. He played the hydrophone recording. Low frequency, louder than a jet engine. Slow. 2 M, the famous bloop sound, but 1,000 times closer. We hadn't found a cave. We'd stuck a needle into something alive. The captain tried to radio the mainland. Static. He slammed the mic down. "Comms are jammed." I looked through the reinforced window. The sun was setting, but the light was wrong. Green. Hazy. A wall of fog rolled in from all sides. Heavy fog, clinging to the water. I watched the supply ship Orca, anchored a mile out. The fog swallowed it whole. I waited for their lights. Nothing. The Orca didn't just vanish from sight. It vanished from radar. We were alone. "Help me, it burns." It was the rookie. The one who cheered. A drop of the fluid hit his bare arm. I rushed to the infirmary. The medic backed away, terrified. The rookie sat on the exam table, scratching his arm raw. Where the fluid touched him, his veins turned jet black. Black lines crawled up his neck, toward his brain. His eyes were bloodshot. No, black-shot. His pupils leaked ink. "I can hear it," he whispered, scratching down to bone. "It's singing to me." Suddenly he stopped, looked at me with voida black eyes, smiled. "Open the airlock," he said. "Let the water in." The rookie lunged. He didn't move like a sick man. He moved like a coiled spring, released. He grabbed the medic by the throat and threw him against the bulkhead like a rag doll. "Secure him!" I shouted. It took 3 of us to hold him down. His skin burned with feverish heat, those black veins pulsing, shifting under the skin like worms. We shoved him into the brig, spun the wheel on the steel door. Clang! He slammed against the metal, screaming. But it wasn't pain anymore, it was laughter. "It's too late!" he shrieked. "The door is open. The pressure is equalizing." I looked at the medic, gasping for air. Black fingerprints pressed into his neck. I ran to the command center. Emergency crimson light bathed the room. Alarms blared. "Status!" I barked. The captain looked pale. "The blowout preventer, it's offline." "Impossible." "Fail-safe," I said. "Someone hacked the system," he said, pointing at the log. "The command came from inside the rig 10 minutes ago." The rookie. Before heading to the infirmary, he disabled our only safety valve. The abyss now pushed straight up the pipe, unimpeded. The floor vibrated violently. The rig wasn't drilling anymore, it was shaking apart. "We need to close that valve manually," I said, "or this whole platform explodes." We couldn't send divers 30,000 feet down. We launched the ROV. "Descending," the operator said. The black water rushed by. The massive drill pipe disappeared into the darkness. 1,000 feet, 5,000 feet, 10,000 feet. Pressure down here would crush a tank. At 20,000 feet, the camera feed started glitching. "Interference," the operator muttered. "High magnetic fields." Floodlights hit the seabed, or what we thought was the seabed. It wasn't rock, it was organic. The ocean floor covered in a thick, pulsating black membrane, and the drill had punched right through it. "Zoom in on the breach," I ordered. ROV thrusters whirred. Thick black fluid billowed like an underwater volcano. Then, movement. Something swam past the camera, fast, huge. "Did you see that?" the captain asked. "Bring it around," I said. The ROV turned. For a split second, floodlights illuminated a face. Pale, translucent, size of a van. No eyes. Rows of needle teeth. Then, crunch. Metal screamed like crumpled foil. Blue screen. "Signal lost," the operator whispered. "Something just ate a 2-ton robot." The ROV was gone. The BOP unresponsive. One option left. Manual shut-off. 500 feet below the surface. Saturation divers. I went to the moon pool, the open well in the rig's center. Water sloshed darkly in the opening, thicker than usual. Miller and Kowalski suited up, heavy atmospheric diving suits, astronauts underwater. "Keep comms open," I told them. "See anything at all, you abort." Miller gave a thumbs up. Splash. They sank into the oily black water. Helmet lights faded to tiny stars beneath the hull. "Miller, check in," I said. The monitors showed vitals, steady, heart rates climbing. "Visibility, bad. Control," Miller crackled. "The water, thick." Millions of tiny black flakes drifted upward, suspended in the column. Black snow, falling in reverse. "Is that oil?" Kowalski asked. "No," Miller replied, swiping his glove. "It's solid, not liquid, like skin flakes or ash." A chill ran down my spine. "The thing we drilled into, was it shedding? Disintegrating?" "We're at the valve," Miller reported. "The riser pipe. It should have been yellow industrial metal. Instead, dark, bulbous growths clung to it, like cancerous barnacles, pulsing, expanding, contracting with the rhythm of the ocean." "What is that?" I whispered. "Biological build-up," Kowalski said, disgusted. "It's grown over the wheel in less than an hour. Burn it off, I ordered. Miller fired up the torch. Blue flame hissed underwater. While Miller cut through the biomass, Kowalski kept lookout. He stared into the void. "Say again, control," he said. "I didn't say anything," I replied. "I heard you," he whispered. "You said, open it. Negative. Close it." "Miller, hurry up. It's not you," Kowalski gasped. "There's a voice coming from the water." Biomonitors beeped frantically. Stress levels redlining. He wasn't imagining it. The same call the rookie heard. Before he changed. "Valve is closed," Miller grunted. Flow stopped. "Good work. Now get." Scream. Kowalski's audio spiked. Deafening. Piercing. On Miller's feed, Kowalski jerked backward violently. Safety tether taut, vibrating like a guitar string. "Something's got me," he yelled. "No shark, no squid, just black water swirling." The tether snapped. He was gone. His lights spun wildly, illuminating nothing until a tiny speck. Then nothing. "Kowalski!" I screamed. "He's gone!" Miller panted. "There was nothing. The water, it just took him." "Miller, abort! Get to the bell!" He shot upward, suit thrusters blazing. One last look down. Hundreds. Thousands. Pale blue bioluminescent dots. Not random. Arranged in a perfect spiral miles wide. A massive, many-eyed god waking in the trench. Miller turned away. Scrambled for the moon pool, sobbing into his helmet. We hauled Miller out of the moon pool. He hit the metal grating, gasping, thrashing, screaming, water dripping from his suit. Wrong. Black fluid. Droplets rolled back toward the pool's edge, like magnets drawn home. "Decon team, spray him down," I ordered. Miller froze, stared through his glass faceplate. Water inside, rising. "My seal, it's breached," he gasped. He gasped. He gasped. Dark liquid bubbling inside his collar, not outside, from the suit. Our filtration system compromised, pumping black fog into his lungs. He clawed at the glass, filled in seconds, eyes black, then he smashed his head against the helmet, tried to bite me. We backed away, sealed the moonpool deck. Rig changing around us, steel corridors sweating, thick black ichor oozing from seams, dripping from ceiling vents, not flooding, infected. Metal groaned, like a stomach growling. Porthole passed. Green fog pressed outside. Faces. Pale, ghostly crew, faces, pressing against glass, staring in. Mess hall reached. Main generator hum, died. Lights flickered, then out. Darkness, rain lashing the hull. "Thumb!" Heartbeat below. Emergency power kicked in. Crimson rotating light. Rig like a slaughterhouse. Command, this is Jackson. We lost power. Radio crackled. Intakes clogged. Intakes clogged. Fluid. Eating engines. Adrift. Floating metal on a hungry ocean. I remembered the rookie. Had to check the brig. Corridor, covered in black biomass, squelched under my boots. Steel door warped, bulging. Flashlight through slit. Not pacing, not standing. Melted, fused to the wall. Spreading like fungal growth. Face stretched wide, mouth open, eternal scream. From the wall, sacks of flesh, things were hatching. I watched through the reinforced glass as the sacks ripped open. Not one creature, dozens. Black, scuttling things the size of rats. Wet clicking joints, barbed limbs, hungry mouths, no eyes. They swarmed the door. Kick, kick, S.M. Ash. The reinforced glass spiderwebbed under the pressure. I backed away. Crunch. The glass gave. A tide of black shapes poured into the corridor. High-pitched shrieks made my teeth ache. I ran toward the stairwell. Stealth was gone. Red emergency lights strobing. Shadows leapt across the walls. Skitter, skitter, skitter on the ceiling pipes, on the walls. I slipped on black ichor. Scrambled up. Needed a weapon. Fire station on the wall. Smashing glass. Grabbing the axe. Heavy, red, reassuring. Bulkhead door ahead. Wheel lock spun. First creature lunged at my boots. Slammed the bridge door. Deadbolts thrown. Captain lowered his flare gun. Jackson. What's happening down there? The brig compromised. Small ones. Dozens, I panted. Only 5 left. Captain, pilot, 2 engineers, and me. Green fog pressed against the glass. Living. Thick. Massive, shadowy shapes swam through it. We're sinking, the captain said flatly. Buoyancy tanks taking on the fluid. 2 hours before the main deck is underwater. What about the lifeboats? The pilot asked. CCTV feed showed horror. Orange pods encrusted in pulsating black barnacles. One pod tried to launch, fused to the davits. Hull melted, contents spilling into the sea. Release mechanisms corroded, the captain said. Sea isn't escape, it's their territory. We are trapped. Try the long-range transmitter again, I ordered. Engineer amplified the signal. Max power. Speakers shrieked with static. Mayday, 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 biological containment breach. Static cleared. A voice answered. Not the Coast Guard, not human. Deep, guttural clicking. Wet, rasping whisper. Rocks grinding underwater. Engineer ripped headphones off, ears bleeding. We weren't calling for help. We were ringing the dinner bell. We can't go down, the captain said, tracing the blueprint. So we go up. Top level, helipad, company chopper fueled, strapped. Pilot shook his head. Captain, can't fly in this fog. You'll have to try, son. Fly or swim. 20 levels up, through the darkest, most infested parts. We need weapons, I said, hefting the axe. We carve a path. Bridge security locker. Minimal supplies. 2 Remington 870 shotguns. 3 flare guns. Red emergency flares. Engineers grabbed welding torches. Flashlights strapped on. Red emergency lights not enough for the central shaft. Stay tight. Watch ceilings. They don't care about gravity. Bridge door unlocked. Pitch black corridor ahead. Belly of the beast. Steel spine of the rig. Smell of metal and rot. Stairs spiraling into gloom. 20 flights to the helipad. Surfaces slick with black slime. Boots clanging softly. Clang! Clang! 5 levels up. The sound came. Hundreds of hard legs on metal. They knew we were coming. Waiting in the dark. Halfway up. Level 10. Hold movement, I whispered. Scratching stopped. Then, ceiling rained down. Black hatchlings, biting the pilot through his suit. Boom, boom. Shotgun muzzle flashes lit tar and teeth creatures. Buckshot blew them apart, black mist reforming instantly. Fire! Use fire! Captain yelled. Flare gun point blank. Phosphorus burned fiercely, sticking to oily skin. Shriek. Retreat. Flares bought room. Push upward. Fire wildly. Davis, engineer, backed to vent grate. Grate exploded. Thick tendrils, ropey veins burst from shaft. Wrapped around his waist and chest. Screams. Yanked into darkness of ventilation. Wet crunch. Then silence. Flashlights spun, casting wild shadows. Keep moving, Captain roared. Don't look back, he's gone. Level 15. Crew quarters. Stairwell door blocked. We have to go through the hallway, the captain said. We pried the door. I almost vomited. Wall of flesh. Missing crew, fused together. Arms, legs, torsos, faces, pulsating, gasping, mouths opening in unison. I raised my shotgun, hands shaking. "God help us," the pilot whispered. Henderson's face emerged from the wall. Translucent skin, black veins, staring. "Jackson," he rasped. Every mouth moved, 50 voices, one horrific echo. "Don't fight it. The water is warm. The song is beautiful. Hive mind, not individuals." The wall shifted. Arms reached. "Burn it," the captain ordered. Engineer ignited the oxyacetylene torch. Blue flame hit the wall. Scream, not human. Metal tearing. Babies crying. Black biomass recoiled, boiling and hissing. "Move! Move!" I yelled. Shotgun blasts tore at grabbing hands. We pushed through the burning hole. Charred flesh, ozone, black smears. Hands clawed at my suit, kicked a face. Stumbled, covered in soot and slime. Sprinting for the upper stairwell. 2 levels to go. Floor grating behind us buckled. Crash. Hulk of black muscle and bone, 8 feet tall. Roared. Towered over us. Captain stumbled, bleeding. Showed me his wrist. Black veins. "Go! That's an order!" He charged the monster, screaming. I grabbed the pilot. We ran. Burst onto the helipad. Wind like a physical blow. Storm raging. Green lightning arcs. Sikorsky S-92, shaking violently. Strapped down. "Start it up!" I yelled. "I'll get the straps!" Pilot sprinted for cockpit. I struggled with ratchets, numb fingers, slick with oil. Last strap free. "We're clear! Go! Go!" Rotors spun. Whup! 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 Rig shuddered violently. Thrown to deck. Tentacle thick as a skyscraper. Covered in glowing blue eyes and black sores. Closing from the abyss. Ants fighting a god. Tentacle slammed lower decks. Steel crumpled. Rig folding in half. I dove into the open door. "Pull up! Pull up!" Pilot redlined engines. Turbines screamed. Tentacles swung at us. Missed tail rotor by inches. Bank hard right. Fighting turbulence. Poseidon 4 dragged under. 2,000 feet. Broke through clouds. Sun rising. Rig gone. Whirlpool of black oil and debris. Water. Not blue-black ink spreading across the Pacific. Green fog stretching to the coast. Wall of mist moving. Control. This is Chopper 1. Poseidon is lost. Do you copy? Silence. Coastline in view. Los Angeles. Morning traffic gone. Black smoke pillars rise. Green fog swallowing skyscrapers. No boats. No planes. Abyssal. Gate unleashed an atmosphere. Refugees flying into a graveyard. I slumped back, watching the world end. Pilot coughed. Wet. Hacking. Splat. Droplet on panel. Black. Infinite. Oily darkness. "Hey, I think I swallowed some water back there," he said, voice wet and rasping. Turned to me. Eyes gone. Pools of black. Teeth stained black. "Where should we land, Jackson? Where should we plant the seed?" Fuel gauge empty. The